Today, I'm exploring my Spotify Wrapped for 2023. It's Storytime with Chris. Welcome to Storytime with Chris. Today, like I said in the intro, I'm going to be taking a deep dive into maybe not super deep, but I'll be looking at my Spotify Wrapped for the year and giving my thoughts on it. I thought there were a few interesting things and a few questions I have about Spotify Wrapped. But for that, let's get into the updates since the last episode. What has happened? A lot has happened, actually. Thanksgiving went well. Spent the morning with my little brother playing in the turkey bowl with some old high school friends. So that was a lot of fun. We actually got to play on the same team for the first time since we've been playing in the turkey bowl together. So that was a lot of fun. We were kind of unstoppable. At least my brother was. He's crazy fast still. He's always been fast, but now he's even faster than I don't know. I've lost a lot of speed. So that was a lot of fun. And then we went over to my in-laws for Thanksgiving dinner and got to enjoy it was one of the best Thanksgiving meals I've ever had, actually. So everything was delicious. Good turkey, good stuffing, dressing, whatever you want to call it, mashed potatoes, the gravy. I don't know how they made the gravy, but it kind of seemed like they made it from scratch. And if they didn't make it from scratch, then it was some really good packet turkey or packet gravy. I was really impressed with the gravy. Also handmade rolls. Everything was just so good. So that was a lot of fun. And then we went over to my family's they actually ended up making dinner really late, so I had another plate of food there. Jen didn't eat very much. She ate a lot at her family's house. And we got to watch the Niners stomp on the Seahawks and eat turkey on their field on Thanksgiving. So that was a lot of fun, especially with it was like a revenge Thanksgiving game because the last time the Niners played Seattle, they came to Levi's Stadium and ended up eating turkey on the Niners field. So good game. And now it's Eagles week. This is a game that I know I've been excited for since it was released earlier this year. I feel good about this game. This is just an exciting game. Eagles fans are going to say this is the Niners Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And a couple things about that. First of all, I think if the Niners want to have a chance in this game, they cannot come out and they can't treat this game like it's a Super Bowl. They've got to come out and not be super emotional about the game. I mean, there's going to be some emotions, obviously, but don't come out like the Cleveland game where you're starting fights before the game and doing all that stuff. Come out, let your playing on the field do all the talking for you. And also, this is just, in my opinion, these are the top two teams in the NFL right now. Baltimore, pretty close behind, in my opinion. There are some questions about Baltimore where I'm not sure. They seem like juggernauts some weeks, and then the other weeks they just don't seem quite there. So yeah, in my opinion, this is. I don't know how this game is gonna go because both teams are strong defensively, but also the Eagles have started slow offensively for a lot of their games this year. So it could be kind of like a dogfight, just a low-scoring defensive battle, or it could be one very similar to last week where, they go into overtime or it's a close game up until the fourth quarter. So I'm excited. I feel good about the Niners' chances, especially coming off, kind of a mini bye week, and the Eagles are a little bit banged up. So yeah, I guess we'll see. This is a good game, and for the Niners, I think it's a little bit more important than Philly. I think the Niners should definitely, try to win this game. Maybe not give all their secrets away, because this game, if they win, gives them a better shot at getting the number one seed from Philly, because Philly doesn't have the toughest schedule to end the year, but they do play Dallas, and division games are always tough, especially in Dallas. So yeah, I'm excited for that one, and we'll get to see. This isn't the same game as last year where Philly was absolutely rolling people, and all I want from this game is for the Niners to really not be emotional about it, come out, play their game, and just execute. They don't need to be perfect. My expectations for this game are that the Niners aren't going to just roll over like last year. Because last year, the NFC Championship game was rough to watch. It was like just watching a slow motion train wreck. You knew the outcome, you knew what was coming, and you couldn't stop it. But you just had to watch. So So yeah, we will see what the outcome is of that game. Those are my thoughts on it, and hopefully it's a good one for the Niners. So another update that we have is that this weekend I was able to panel and, with the help of Jen, paint the nursery. So that was really exciting. Things are starting to become a little bit real, a little bit more real, and baby's going to be coming here very soon. It seems like. So one thing that is bugging me a little bit is I kind of measured the panels a little bit off. They're just slightly off, and Jen didn't notice it. Was it last night? 2 nights? Was it last? I don't know. Sometime this week, my neighbors came over, and Jake helped me move a dresser into the baby's room, and Muriel and him looked at the nursery, and they said they couldn't tell that the panels were off, but I know, and it bugs me. But if it's not noticeable to other people, then hopefully no one else notices it. If you're in construction, or if you are art, maybe if you're into that kind of thing, then you might be able to notice it if you looked at it. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, crib should be coming in today, and we'll be assembling that and setting that up in the baby's room. So that is going to make it even more real, I think. And it's funny because last night Jen and I were actually we had our hands on her belly, and we're kind of talking and feeling baby's kicks and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if it's quite hit me yet, but I know it will eventually. And I'm excited. It's a big thing. And it's funny, before finding out that we were pregnant, whenever someone announced or told us that they were pregnant, for me it was always like, oh, congratulations, that's cool. That's cool. Didn't seem like a big deal to me. But now that I'm in the thick of it, and we're going through the pregnancy and expecting a baby, it kind of feels like everything to me. It's like, I don't know, it just feels like a giant, huge thing. So yeah, anyway, besides that, let's see, real life stuff. Unfortunately, we are going to a funeral tomorrow and viewing tonight for Jen's grandma. Very hard and a sad time for everyone. So I'm just doing my best to be supportive and be there for her and the family. So we appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers for her and the family. So besides that, we don't have a lot going on this weekend, at least not that I can think of. Putting baby's crib together and stuff should hopefully be a little bit of a distraction, keep our minds occupied. And, death is one of those things that you can never really truly prepare for. She was on hospice for a little while, and so everyone kind of knew that her time was coming, but there's no way to prepare for that. And so, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We'll go to the topic of this episode, which is taking a deeper, not super deep dive into my Spotify Wrapped for the year. Let's do it. I don't know if you could hear that, but my dog just sighed super loud. So anyway, let's go through. I'm going to go through my Spotify Wrapped. This will be cut up, so you don't have to sit in here in silence while I go through all these slides. But the first thing that kind of stood out to me when I went through my Wrapped was that I only listened to 17 genres. Now, ever since Spotify came out with Wrapped, I've always been kind of skeptical about it. To me, it doesn't always seem the most accurate, and maybe that's because I don't just use Spotify to listen to music. A lot of the times I'm on YouTube while I'm working, and I'll listen to music or podcasts through YouTube. So I don't know if that's thrown off the numbers a little bit, but to me, 17 genres just seems very off. And I do listen to a lot of metal, and there are a lot of subgenres of metal. But I decided to look up how many genres of music are on Spotify. And based on my research, it's there are over like 6,000 genres of music on Spotify. So 17 just seems like an off number to me. I don't know how accurate that is, because this year I feel like I've listened to a bigger variety of music, more genres. So that was interesting to me. My top genres were alternative metal is number 1, which is interesting. I don't even know what the different metal genres are or what bands fall into what genre. I just know it's metal. So alternative metal is number 1, metalcore 2, post-grunge 3. This one's a little, this is interesting, and I think it falls into a certain artist that I listen to a lot this year. Outlaw country. And number 5, pop, which is just a little bit weird. Pop, this is, I don't know, the genres on Spotify are interesting to say the least. The place that listened to the same music as me me was Green Bay, USA, which is weird and random, I guess. I don't know how they determine these things, but people are more likely to be fans of Nothing More, Hollywood Undead, and Nonpoint. Now, I like Nonpoint, but I didn't listen to them a ton this year. I played 1,186 songs, but there was one song that really connected. Now, this one does make a lot of sense. It's Spirits by Nothing More. Absolute banger of a song. Highly recommend you check it out. Nothing More is a great band as well. I played it 63 times. So, let's see, what else are we going to go through here? My top songs. Oh, that's just the link to the playlist. I listened for 15,551 minutes, 10 days nonstop. To put a little context on this, my wife, I think her number 2 artist this year was Billie Eilish, and she listened to Billie Eilish for 17,000 minutes, apparently. So it's very interesting. I feel like I listen to a lot more music than this, but who knows? 15,000 minutes, that's 10 days nonstop. Then I peaked on June 11th, and I listened to 298 minutes that day. June 11th. That was a Sunday. What did I do on June 11th? Oh, June 11th. Okay. I started Tears of the Kingdom that day, so I wasn't listening to music then. And, well, Jen and I went up to Big Cottonwood Canyon and drove around for a while, so I wonder if that has a lot to do with it. That's the day that we saw a little baby moose. We parked at a certain spot, and little baby moose just came wandering through. I'll throw that video on YouTube so you guys can see that. It was really, really cool. I listened to 412 artists, but only 17 genres. That's interesting. My top artists. Number 1, Hollywood Undead. I listened to them the most in May. Nothing More, July. Very interesting. Slipknot, October. I do like some Halloween Slipknot vibes. Johnny Cash is my number 4 in April. And From Ashes to New. I also listened to them in July the most. I think I worked out quite a bit in July. That's probably why. So, breaking down the top artists, it doesn't surprise me at all. The only difference this year was that Nothing More and Slipknot traded spots. So Nothing More was number 2, Slipknot 3. Johnny Cash at number 4 replaced Papa Roach from last year, and From Ashes to New stayed the same. I don't know. This is interesting because I also listened to a lot of Volbeat this year. Volbeat I listened to, Johnny Cash and Volbeat I listen to a lot when I'm doing yard work or working out in the garage, just getting stuff done. And Nothing More, I feel like I listen to more than Hollywood Undead, to be honest, because I played the Spirits album a lot this year. Who knows? It doesn't surprise me. I'm sure these 4, well, the top 3 are kind of interchangeable for me. Hollywood Undead has probably been there since I was a young kid, well, a teenager. My top, I listened to Ear Biscuits for 2,500 minutes. I'm a top 10% fan, whatever that means. So Ear Biscuits is definitely my favorite podcast to listen to. I listen to them driving to work, and when I'm out mowing the lawn, I'll turn on Ear Biscuits. So one thing that I thought was interesting, I don't know if they've done this year in years past, but my Spotify listening archetype was hypnotist. I like to play albums all the way through, which is true. I do that a lot. I actually found myself doing that a lot during my workouts. Basically, the way my workouts go is that I'll start an album, and that's the start of the workout, and when the album is done, that's the finish of the workout. So it's not always how I do it, but it ends up working out a lot of the time because I'm like, oh, I have 45 minutes, here's a 45-minute album. I have an hour, here's an hour-long album I can listen to during this workout. So, and I also just like listening to albums through. Don't know why, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like all the different archetypes and what percentage of people are in different archetypes. So Spotify, if you're listening to this, you should do that next year. Give us all the percentages. How many hypnotists are there? How many? I don't know what the archetypes are, so I am interested to see what my Spotify Wrapped for next year looks like, because honestly, I'm trying to branch out a little bit in my music taste, and that's part of the reason why I'm asking for suggestions for music that I should check out next year. And I also threw out a little prompt on Instagram. Haven't received very many responses, but my sister sent me a response, so I'll do a little reaction to her Spotify Wrapped. And I realized that I don't think I went through my top songs. So my top songs, this is also interesting. I don't feel like this is totally accurate. I think a big reason why mine are the way they are is because I listened to the Spirits album by Nothing More quite a few times this year. And after the album finishes, it plays pretty much the same song afterwards every time. So my top songs, number 1, Spirits by Nothing More. 2, Tired of Winning by Nothing More. 3, Chaos by Hollywood Undead. 4, Turn It Up Like by Nothing More. And 5, Watch the World Burn by Falling in Reverse. So what I'll say is this does make sense sense to me because I replay that album a lot this year. Like I said, Chaos. It's a good song, but I feel like that one also got played a lot because it's on I listen to a lot of Hollywood Undead. It's also on my workout playlist, and it shows up and it plays automatically after the Spirits album finishes. And the same goes for Watch the World Burn. That one's weird. It's a good song, but I didn't listen to it, I feel like, that much this year. But I did notice that song almost always plays after the Spirits album finishes. So that's probably why that's up there, if I had to make a guess. If I had to give my top songs a score, I would say it's probably 5 out of 10. The reason why is because there are some good songs, Spirits and Chaos. I totally agree with those being up there. But there's not a lot of variety. You might as well just go listen to the Spirits album at that point. So next year I'm going to try to have a little bit more diversity in my listening habits and my music. And I'm definitely open for suggestions. So if you have any, send some my way. And at this point, I'm done with my little dive into my Spotify Wrapped for 2023. Let me know what your thoughts are. This episode's probably going to be released a little bit late. This would be a great Music Monday episode, so I feel like Monday might be the release date. And for those of you who are wondering what the date is on Monday, it's December 4th. So December 4th will probably be the release date for this episode. It's a great Music Monday theme. Oh, by then the Eagles game will be decided. So I guess we'll see how things go. My prediction for the game, which I should have done earlier, but who cares at this point? Let's see. I don't know if that's the thing. It's either going to be really, really close or not close at all. And I'm going to say Niners 1. Going to be a little bit of a grimy game, I feel like. So I'm going to say 24. Eagles 16. All right, I did it. It's like my first score prediction of the year. And at this point, you will already know what happened. So hopefully it's close. Hopefully it's close to that score. That'd be cool. Anyway, I'm going to keep asking for people's Spotify Wrapped. We'll see if anyone else sends me some. But I am curious. I really do want to do these breakdowns. I know a lot of people don't really care about the Wrapped, but I thought it was a good opportunity to get to know some of my followers, especially on Instagram and Facebook, and see what their music tastes were like in 2023 and judge them a little bit for it. So thank you for listening. If up to this point, we'll see if the episode's over or not. All right. At this point, I've received one Spotify Wrapped for 2023, and that was from my little sister, Mia. So I'm going to go through the artists first, and then I'll give the songs a listen, and then give a little score based on the songs. So artists, number 1, Taylor Swift. 2, Olivia Rodrigo. 3, Ariana Grande. 4, I think it's SZA. 5, The Weeknd. So starting with Taylor Swift, there's a reason why Taylor Swift is the most listened to person, I think, this year on Spotify. You can't deny how much of an icon she is, and people do really like her music, so it's not super surprising to me. 2, Olivia Rodrigo. I think is a good choice. Honestly, I like Olivia Rodrigo a lot. I've actually considered doing an album review on her latest album, so if you're interested in that, let me know. She's really good. I enjoyed her song, was it Vampire? Is one of the first singles off her new album, so that one was, I thought, really good. Ariana Grande, I'm not a fan, but I know my sister has loved her for a long time, so you do you, sis. SZA, I've listened to some SZA. She's very good, very talented. Not something I listen to a lot, but she does make good music, so I can appreciate her. And The Weeknd. The Weeknd is just a top artist in the day and age. I've always enjoyed The Weeknd, so that is awesome. Along with these artists, her top genre was pop, not surprising. And minutes listened, 48,958. So either I'm not listening to a lot of music, or because that's very similar to what my wife had. Maybe I just need to listen to more music. Cool. So I'm going to give these top 5 songs a listen, and then I'll give it a score. All right. Just finished listening to Mia's top 5 songs of the year, which were Good Days by SZA, Kill Bill by SZA, Favorite Crime, Olivia Rodrigo, 7 Rings, Ariana Grande, and Feather, Sabrina Carpenter. I think it's the only one that kind of fit when I looked up the song Feather. So overall, good songs, just not necessarily stuff that I would listen to. Good Days, Kill Bill. I think I've heard Kill Bill by SZA before. Those 2 songs were good. Favorite Crimes, a classic Olivia Rodrigo song. That one's a strong one. 7 Rings by Ariana Grande is the weakest on this list. Just not my favorite song, not my favorite artist. And Feather was pretty good. I haven't listened to any Sabrina Carpenter, so overall I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So yeah, that's my judgment of my sister's 2023 Spotify Wrapped. So I did end up receiving one more person's Spotify Wrapped for the year, and this was my friend Mario Torres. Mario and I worked together at Best Buy for several years, so it was cool to reconnect with him. And his top artists for the year were Gorillaz, The Warning, Moby, Holy Wars, and The Offspring. Out of those artists, the only two I'm familiar with were Gorillaz and The Offspring. So I listened to two of the other ones while I listened to his top songs. So I'll have to check them all out. The Warning was interesting. Was that one? That was one of them. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, The Warning was one of his top artists and top songs. So I'll have to check them out. They were like Spanish rock, so that was really cool to listen to. Mario listened for 34,377 minutes, and his top genre was rock. So overall, good vibes, I would say. I listened to his top songs already, except for one, which I just I couldn't figure out which. I'll explain. The first one was One of These Mornings by Moby. Amarillo by Gorillaz was number 2. Number 3 was 23, and I couldn't figure out which artist because there are a lot of songs with the title 23, so I just did not listen to that one. Number 4 was Martirio by The Warning. Number 5 was El Mañana by Gorillaz. So overall, I feel like these 5 songs embody Mario well. Mario is just super chill, laid back guy, and I could be wrong, but when we worked together at Best Buy, I feel like I remember him being a big Gorillaz fan. So Gorillaz, I'm pretty sure I listened to Amarillo before, but yeah, all these songs were super chill, kind of a little bit slower tempo, except for Martirio, which was by The Warning, and that was like an upbeat rock, Spanish rock song, so that was really cool to listen to. I understand and speak Spanish pretty well, but as far as musically, I don't listen to a lot of Spanish music. Usually when I do, it takes me a few listens and actually seeing the words to understand what is going on in that music. So overall, these are good songs and pretty slow, a little bit on the sad side. So, but also I know Mario, and from the time I know him, I remember him being just super laid back, chill guy. I could see him just hanging out and listening to this music. So Mario, I'm gonna have to give your top songs of 2023 a solid. What should I say? It gets a ding because I couldn't listen to the song 23. So I'll give this one. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Hopefully it's not too harsh, but I couldn't find that one song, and overall the music on the playlist was good. It's not stuff that I would normally listen to, although I do want to check out some more Spanish rock because that song was really good. And that will officially wrap up this episode. Thanks to Mario and my sister Mia for sending in your top playlists of 2023. And I'm actually recording this on the day that I'm planning on releasing it, which is Monday. And yes, we did get the results from the Eagles and 49ers game, and Niners dominated. So sorry, Eagles, you can go back to the drawing board and try to figure it out for the playoffs, because couldn't even tackle Brock Purdy when he went out and scrambled. So yeah, figure out how to tackle, and probably see them again in the NFC Championship game, or maybe not. Who knows? The Eagles have looked beatable all year, but anyway, that's besides the point. Thanks again for listening to this episode. Let me know what you think of my breakdown of the 2023 Spotify Wrapped. Let me know if people do want to send in more. I'm not opposed to shouting those out on future episodes. Let me know what your top artists are from 2023 and what artists I should check out going into 2024, because I really want to do some more diverse listening next year. Try to diversify my habits when it comes to music. So anyway, thanks again for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, all that stuff. Thank you. This has been Storytime with Chris.